Do you believe that we are seeing a dangerous cocktail of faith and politics getting more and more mixed up?
See, it is happening, I'm not saying no, but it's much less than ever before.
Really?
Yes.
It seems to be much more than ever
No,
before.
that's because of you. That's because if 10 people get beheaded in some remote part of Iraq, you make sure the blood spills into my sitting room. So if you look heavenward, hallucinations will happen, wars will happen. Because my heaven and your heaven different, you know.
Yeah.
None of the heavens have anything for women, you better know that.
I'm definitely going to hell. Anyway,
So you believe in heaven and hell?
I was being facetious.
Let me finish this.
I was being facetious. I don't know if there is
That's
somebody
fine.
up there.
That is fine.
Is it a force?
No, I'm
is it
saying
an energy? Is that
this
inside
thing
me?
about looking heavenward is slowly going away, and in pursuit of well-being, people are looking outward. A pure yogic science, in the form of culture, it finds many colors and distortions, which is what you're seeing as a Hindu culture or Indian culture, whatever you want to call it.
But they're not interchangeable terms.
Why?
Because we're a multi-religious country with many different
I
cultures.
I want you to understand, the word Hindu does not signify a religion. You ask them, do they worship one god if they're Hindus? In the same family, they're worshipping 25 gods. They don't know which is the god, so they're making sure worship everything just in case something will hit, okay? The land between Himalayas and Indus-Sagara, this land, this subcontinent is Hindu. All people who are born here are considered Hindu because it's a geographical identity. I know there's a whole political issue, if I speak like this, they say, oh, he's Hindu.
No, I mean, people will tell you you're echoing the RSS chief.
I don't know what he said, I'm not…
He said all Indians are Hindus, and there was a huge
Okay,
political
I'm not…
outcry over that.
Okay, all Indians live between Himalayas and Indian Ocean.
That's okay.
Those who want to jump into the
That's
ocean…
I count myself among a skeptic who, if told that another human being possesses some sort of godly power, I would perhaps as the first instinct not believe it. But what I find interesting about what some of your sayings is captured by Arundhati Subramaniam in this book, is that you're actually saying that what we experience beyond our five senses, anything that we experience beyond the five senses can be called God, can be called power, or can be called yourself. So if God doesn't necessarily exist, why do we need gurus? Why do we need Sadhguru?
Is there my microphone? Okay, that's good. Do you drive in Delhi?
Do I drive? Unlike you, I have a fear of wheels.
So if you drive in an unknown terrain,
Yes,
you use these days a GPS.
yes.
Usually a strange woman will tell you, turn right, you turn right. She says, turn left, you say, turn left. She says, make a U-turn, you make a U-turn. Why? Simply because you're not familiar with the terrain. When you're in an unfamiliar terrain, it is sensible to take instructions.
So, are you saying gurus are the new GPS?
Not new. Long time ago we've been, for a very long time, way before the GPS came. GPS means what? Guru Positioning System.
You know, I have to say that while I don't drive, I've often sat in a car and heard that girl's voice on Google Maps, and often Google Maps
You can
does
actually-
not
you can actually-
give you the right advice.
You can change it to your man's voice if you wish. It's only because you have a body, which is your physicality.
Yes.
You have a life within. If you did not have a body, if you're disembodied, I'm not going to talk to you.
Yes.
Because with disembodied beings, you don't have conversations, okay? I know people…
People do talk to ghosts.
People are trying to do that these days.
Yes.
Because they're not in talking terms with the living. They choose the dead because you can make the dead speak whatever you want. The living will speak what they want. It's a big problem. One person, a well-known person in the country who goes about claiming he's an atheist all the time, one day comes up to me, somebody just introduces me first time. I say, Namaste. He says, do you know I believe there is no God? I said, I don't even believe that.
Do you mean Javed Akhtar?
I'm not…
No, that was a good imitation, so I guess it wasn't difficult.
I'm not taking names,
So what is it that you know, Sadhguru? Why are millions of people your devotees? Because you just said that honesty is about
They don't claim that they're my devotees.
What do they say then?
Huh?
What do they say then?
Usually they claim they're meditators, volunteers and stuff.
Okay, volunteers then.
So fundamentally, if you know this piece of life, you know everything by inference.
But when you say this piece of life, do you mean yourself? Do you mean this moment? What do you mean by this piece of life?
You are a piece of life, aren't you? Are you life or you're media?
Are they mutually exclusive?
No, because people have mediums, that's why I'm saying.
Do you think of yourself as a yogi, a mystic or a guru?
I have not wasted time thinking about myself.
Tell us a little bit about yourself. Your story is well chronicled, but what is of interest to people is that you started off as…
I haven't read that book, I know, I hope she's written nice things about me.
She's written a very brilliant… Arundhati Subramaniam has written a very brilliant book.
No, she's brilliant, but what's she written about me?
But you're saying that many people who are positioning themselves as gurus are really only elevating themselves and fooling people.
I didn't say
okay,
that.
I'm saying that.
I'm saying… The thing is, there is a vacuum, somebody is trying to fill it.
Yes, and Sadhguru, you have been…
Are they qualified to be that? Questionable thing.
But a very genuine concern, and you have been on some of my television programs where we have spoken about this, is whether God men are often con men. And how does this lady here know the difference between who's a God man and who's a con man, and is a human being capable of being a God man? Do you think of yourself as a God man?
Why are you underestimating that lady?
Okay, let it be my question.
So first of all, this God-man is essentially a media coined word. Nobody claims that he's a God man, okay? Some are goddamn men, that's different. I don't think anybody has personally claimed I'm a God man. I have not met anybody like that. All volunteers, over 3 million volunteers, enterprises, businesses, okay? Projects, mega projects on the street, all kinds of activity going on around the globe. If anybody has to go nuts, it's me, okay? Because all run by volunteers. Run by volunteers means nobody is trained for the job. And you can't fire them for inefficiency because they're volunteers, all right? And anytime, they come in anytime and do great things, anytime they'll walk away, all right? And nothing should collapse. Till now, I must tell you this, as we are sitting here, this day, probably little over 300 and odd programs, engineering programs are happening in the world. Never in the last 33 years, one program has been abandoned or has failed. That takes enormous management, but nobody will ever see me getting angry or miserable or tensed out or stressed out.
You've never lost your temper?
You want me to know? Do I look like I'm incapable of that? It's not that. It's not that I'm incapable of anger. It's just that I've never given that privilege to anybody. I have not given this privilege to anybody. They can make me happy, they can make me unhappy, they can make me angry, they can make me miserable. No, I kept these privileges to myself. No miracle. I say, what, you want me to pull a pigeon out of my pocket? If I pull a pigeon…
There are gurus who claim to do that, who have been challenged by rationalists.
I'll come to this. If I pull a pigeon out of my pocket, I have a shitty pocket. And you have a bird. What are you going to do with this? You come to me, I will show you the miracle. I have thousands of people who are working 7 days a week, 16 to 18 days, 18 hours every day. In the last 2, 5, 10 years, not a single moment of irritation, agitation, anger in their life. This is a miracle. This is a miracle we want to manifest. You don't want a miracle?
I agree, this is a miracle.
Yes.
And not that pigeon. Do you have a pigeon in your pocket? Okay.
I told you, I don't like a
I
shitty
know,
pocket.
Now, you were 13, in Arundhati's book I read that you were 13 when you first quite accidentally discovered yoga. You were children playing at the bottom of a well. That's what the book says. Tell us, how did you discover yoga?
Oh. I told that because that's how it happened to me. I said that to her, I don't know how she's written, I have not read it. I said that to her because I want people to understand the nature of the universe is, even if you do for the wrong reasons, you do the right thing, still it works. If you do the wrong thing, even for the right reasons, it still doesn't work. People need to understand this, because the whole world has invested on goodness. The goddamn goodness is killing the world. There are too many good people, and these good people are the biggest problem. It's always a good Indian who wants to fight a good Pakistani, good Hindu wants to fight a good Muslim, good American wants to fight with just about anybody, you know. I started, trekking in the jungles when I was 10, 11. I would be gone. If I had 10 rupees in my pocket, I would organize my food and I'm gone with this little note in the house. I can imagine my parents, I always wished I shouldn't have a boy, ever.
Girls can run away too on bikes.
They run later. They don't run at 10, 11, okay? And they're on a pillion, they're usually pillion. And if they find a good rider, no problem.
This is the Sadhguru who flies his own planes, who
no,
likes
no.
his BMW, who likes his game of golf, who likes having a little frisbee match on the
Let's
greens.
come to that. See, the thing is, I wouldn't mind. I even sometimes I ride a bullock cart. Nobody reports that. I love to handle the bulls and I still drive them sometimes. Half my life I'm on the road stuck in some traffic, driving myself, all the time behind huge… Everywhere, there's no place in the country where there's no traffic jams. Believe me, even in rural India there are traffic jams. So I thought a helicopter would really revolutionize our work. I picked up the thing, I got my license, FAA license, but in India it's so difficult to get the license because many of these rules were made before Wright brothers came.